Welcome to the Songwriter Connection, the podcast that delves deep into the art and heart of songwriting. Each week, we gather around the dining room table to uncover the stories behind the songs. We invite you to join us on a journey to the creative minds of the songwriters who shape the melodies of our lives. From Nashville, Tennessee, here's your host, Dave Lenahan.
Well, if you're listening on the day that it came out, it is February the 5th. So does that mean the groundhog already came out to look at his shadow? I can never figure that out. And if it's six
I don't know.
more weeks of...
Why are we basing our decisions on a rodent?
Exactly, right?
Come on.
Exactly.
Phil,
right.
get a gig.
Get a gig, Phil. Punxsutawney Phil. My guest today is Steve Goodie, and we're going to talk with him. He is just a cool guy. I just want to tell you some stories real quick to start. First of all...
I want to deny all of these right in advance.
Deny all of these. This is personal.
Fair enough.
The nightmare scenario. Did you ever have the nightmare where you got on stage, Steve, and you start to sing and nothing comes out?
Yeah, we call that Sunday.
Sunday. Well, it was Monday for me last night. It was at Randy's Revival at the True Music Room, which is one of my favorite places to play the Cambria here in downtown. I got out there, and the first song, it just started cracking, and I'm like, I can't even get through the chorus, you know. I feel fine, you know. I had the gunk a while back, but now the voice. And so we called in a pinch hitter last night. So when I was embarrassed, but it happens. Got to take care of your voice. Yeah. Thanks to Throat Coat Tea and this Manuka honey, which I drank this morning. It's feeling a little bit better.
Throat Coat is amazing.
Isn't that good stuff?
I was at the Edinburgh Fringe Festival this past August, which is 3.5 weeks of doing shows every single day and also running tech for other people's shows.
You burn your voice out.
Always. There. And within a week, it was almost gone. And a friend of mine, who I barely knew, we're friends now because of this, he had a case of Throat Coat. Not a box, a case. And he gave me a box of it. I said, just give me 1 or 2 bags. He said, no. Yeah. Take this.
Take the whole thing.
Take the whole thing. And he saved me.
That
stuff is amazing.
It tastes good, too.
It's not bad.
Not bad at all. So we've talked in this show in the past about the Bluebird Café. If Ryman Auditorium is the mother church of country music, Bluebird, without a doubt, is the mother church of songwriting.
Sure.
And you can't disagree with that.
I'm not disagreeing with that.
So many songwriters and even artists got their start there. Guys like Garth Brooks and
who's that kid?
What's her name?
The football watching one.
Yeah.
I can never remember her name.
Me neither. Swiftie. She used to play there a lot, didn't she? Uh-huh. And so I thought it'd be really cool if we brought Steve Goodie in, who hosts for the past 17 years, right?
Yeah.
The Sunday night writers' rounds at the Bluebird. Welcome in. Steve I can tell you about Steve.
I want to hear this version of me.
He's a comic. He's funny. He's a great songwriter, funny songs. And we're going to talk a little bit about that, parody writing and things like that. I want to talk about that and delve into that, as we really haven't covered that here on this show. But in addition to that, he's a studio owner, a multi-instrumentalist. This guy plays everything, including the hardest instrument to play. The most difficult instrument to play in the world is the kazoo. And he's a master at it.
I just make it look really hard.
No, I'm talking about pedal steel. You play pedal steel?
I do. Not as well as I would like, but I would have to stop everything else and dedicate all of my time to learning how to play it right. I can play just enough to get a little twang in there, get that country feel. But you see those guys on Broadway who smoking a cigarette, blah, 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 and it just comes out without them thinking about it. I
make it cry.
Don't know how they do that.
Oh, they're amazing. It's absolutely, and it really is a difficult instrument to play. You got the knee pedals and you got the foot pedals, and all that stuff
talking about it gets me stressed out.
Yeah, it does me too. So anyway, I wanted to talk about that. But I thought it'd be really cool for people that, especially outside of Nashville, listening, to understand the process of how you get to play at a venue like the Bluebird Café.
Oh,
and it's just a small little venue.
Yeah.
And here's the thing about it. It's hard to get a ticket.
It's very hard, but if you're focused and know how it works, it's not impossible.
Nope.
All the shows for a week's time go on sale Monday morning of that week at 8 a.m. Central.
8 a.m. Yep.
So you need to be ready at 7:55 a.m. Central. So if you're in New York, that would be 6:55 your time.
Yeah.
Ready to log on, and to get a ticket, you have to already know what show you want and go right to it, because they're going to sell out like that.
Just like that.
And if you can't do it on your own, get 5 friends to each have a computer going, and on your behalf, somebody try to get some tickets. And if you're really determined, it'll happen. It's not impossible, but you have to understand there's hardly any seats and a lot of people who want them.
It's a very small venue. What's the seat?
90.
90? I was going to guess 90. Yeah. And here's the other thing. Ever since the Nashville TV show hit, everybody wants to see the place. And it's not unusual to see this. If you go during the day, people will pull up. A car full of people will pull up just to get their picture taken in front of the Bluebird.
Yeah, and to peek in the windows, look at the merch.
Yeah.
All through COVID, when we were closed, people were still doing that.
Still doing that.
Okay. Yes, you may look. You can't come in, but you can look.
You can look. There you go. It's that popular. Now, I wanted to talk about, if you're a songwriter and you want to play the Bluebird, there's a specific path to get there, isn't there?
There is. First, there's open mic, which is every Monday. The show is at 6:00. To sign up for that, you need to be online at 11 a.m. that day. Again, that's Central Time. And getting a spot, the website acts like you're buying a ticket, although you're not buying anything. But that's the way it works. That's their system. Everything's buying a ticket. Even though it's free, even though it's not actually a ticket, you're performing. But you need to be, again, first in line when 1 million people want the same thing at 10:55 a.m. because it starts at 11 a.m. Central. Get on there and be ready and understand how that works. You might want to practice a little bit beforehand just to see exactly where in the website you need to go, and get 5 friends to do it also. And you'll get on a Monday. It may not be that Monday, but soon. If you just keep at it. It can be done.
Barbara Cloyd still running that?
Yeah. Barbara Cloyd has been running the open mic there, I believe, since 1988.
No kidding.
If I'm not mistaken. Just a few years after they opened, and it's still her gig. And I believe she's taken 1 Monday off.
1 Monday off. That's incredible.
So open mic is that, and then if you want to play other nights, the process is twofold. First of all, if you have a friend who's a songwriter and they already booked an early show round on a Tuesday through a Saturday, if you can get them to invite you to be one of those 4 chairs, well, then you're in.
That's how
easy enough.
Yeah.
The more, I guess, not relying on friends approach is to audition for the Sunday night. That's the show I host.
That's the one you host.
To audition for that, it happens 4 times a year.
Okay. Once a quarter, huh?
Yeah, there's I think the next one's in January, but don't hold me to that. But on the website, bluebirdcafe.com, are all the rules and regulations, and they will tell you, eventually they update it for the next one, what the next date is. A week and 2 days before that, on a Friday, there will be a sign-in. And the first, I think it's 100 or so people who desire a spot on that audition, sign in. So again, you got to be on the ball. You got to know when that is. Have some friends online to do it with you if you need to. The first, I think it's 100, will get notified you're in. So not that Sunday, but the one after it. It's at the Bluebird itself. Line up, I think, at 10:30. At 11 o'clock, auditions start. You get 60 seconds or a minute, verse and a chorus next, verse and a chorus next.
Yeah.
The theory being, when you're listening to the radio in your car, you can tell within a minute if you like this song. And so that's how they feel. And they don't mean for it to be a cattle call thing, but if we don't do it that way, we'll be there all day and all night with 100 people.
Oh, absolutely. You would.
So, and here's a funny story. I won't tell you who this is. Good friend of mine. You may know her as well. We got to Nashville about the same time.
You came in what, 88?
Actually, that's right. I arrived in 88, but then I went to LA in 97 and came back in 05.
Okay.
So actually, I'm talking about when I came back. Came back in 05, and she arrived in Nashville for the first time right about then, and she auditioned for the Bluebird Sunday night. I had already done that, my first stint in being in Nashville in the 90s, so I didn't need to audition again. But she did. She auditioned, and this was back when they would email, was it email or postcard? I think it was a postcard in the actual mail to let you know whether you had passed or not. So you audition, verse and a chorus next. You wait a month for them to tell you if you pass. And sorry, you didn't pass. That was her first response. So not daunted. That's normal. Yeah. Hardly anybody passes the first time. She tried again and waited a month. Sorry, you did not pass. She did it again. Waited a month. You did not pass. 3rd time. 4th time did not pass. 5th time did not pass.
Are you
6th
kidding?
time did not pass. 7th time did not pass. 8th time did not pass. 9th time, she didn't audition. And she still got a rejection. Because there was a mix-up. But she plays quite frequently now. I don't think she has ever passed the audition for Sunday, but she's done such a good job of becoming an established songwriter and written with so many people and got so many songs placed that she is now sometimes our special guest on Sundays, having
good.
never passed the audition.
Yeah, because you always have a pro writer in there. Somebody's had hits.
We have the first, in the Sunday show, it's usually 6 or 7 folks who've passed the audition but are not yet a big deal. And then someone who is a big deal plays 3 to 6 songs at the end of the thing.
It's really cool. It's a great entertaining evening. And of course, you get a chance to pick up your guitar and play yours.
Sadly, yes. They do allow that.
It's hilarious. He's hilarious, guy. Folks, I got to tell you, this man is really funny.
You're overselling me.
No, well,
back that down a shade.
Lower the bar a little bit. No, but the thing is, the thing that gets me about your songs, they're so rapid fire. I mean, you got to pay attention. Yeah, you know. So, how did you get involved in writing parody songs and funny songs?
Well, I first heard of funny songs, I think, was from Mad Magazine, of all things. You don't think of a magazine as inspiring.
Yeah.
But they used to print, as you probably recall.
I remember.
Amongst everything else, the very funny and satirical cartoons and fake essays and stuff. They also would print parody lyrics.
Spy wasn't it?
Yeah. They would print parody lyrics that they had made up of popular songs. They wouldn't bother recording them. I'm sure nobody ever sang them anywhere. They would just write them down, and it was funny. Right. And the first one I ever saw, and I still remember it, was a parody of the song Yesterday by the Beatles. And it really struck me because A, it was funny lyrics to a song I knew, and B, it was about musicians. This particular, I will recite it now if you like.
Yeah.
It went, yesterday, music teacher swore I'd never play. Now I'm in the band and people say that I'm the teacher's, what rhymes? Protege. Is that not brilliant?
Brilliant.
Suddenly,
protege.
I'm supposed to play a symphony on the flute the school provides for me, but what the heck's a melody? I'm going to keep going until you stop me. I signed up for band thinking I'd become a star. I'd wear sequin pants and play rock and roll guitar. Har, 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 har. That's enough.
I also heard that Who's On First inspired you big time, too.
Yeah,
you and your brother, was it?
Yeah, boy, you've done your homework. Yes, we also discovered that in Mad Magazine.
Yeah. Did you really?
Yes. The entire script was printed out, and I was 11 maybe, and my brother was 8, and we decided we would learn this.
Wow.
We'd heard it performed maybe once, but we just read it, and it was a lot of work, as you might imagine, to memorize that and get the timing right. As kids, I'm sure we were pathetically adorable. And at Thanksgiving or Passover, the family would invite us, hey, Steve and Adam, would you like to do Who's On First for everybody?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm sorry, it wasn't like that. It was like, could we do Who's On First for everybody? And then we got a little good at it. Okay. A few years go by, and you know how kids are.
Yeah.
Then the family would ask us, would you like to do Who's On First? And we would say, no. Because, kids, they're always there for you.
Yeah. That's the same thing with me and my brother, about that same age. I was 11, he was probably 9, I think, and we got our first guitars, and we play all the time in jam. And it was like, would you play for our friends? No.
No, because that would not be cool.
That would not be cool.
We don't play for grown-ups.
That's right.
Here's what's further funny about this, I think. We had not done Who's On First since our teens. And so a million years go by, and it was the year 2018. Both of our parents turned 70.
Yeah.
Is that right? No, 80. That's
80.
right. They each turned 80 in 2018 in the Chicago area. And my brother and sister and I planned a big event for them for their birthdays. Mm-hmm. And it occurred to me I should contact my brother about relearning Who's On First and doing it as a surprise gift. So I was on tour at the time. I'm driving across South Dakota at 85 miles an hour, and I call up my brother, who's at work. He's a professor of psychology, tenured at the University of Georgia, Athens. Thank you very much. So I call him up, and I interrupt him from the game of Angry Birds he's busy playing at his desk, because as far as I know, that's what he does. And I said, hey, what do you think about relearning Who's On First? He said, sounds great. I'm not doing anything anyway because I'm just a tenured professor of psychology. That's how you. So he called it up on the internet. He got it immediately. There's many versions. He found the one we used to do. Uh-huh. And so he was reading it and I was driving, so I couldn't be reading anything. So 85 miles an hour, I'm driving across South Dakota. He's at his desk and we're practicing Who's On First. And I want to thank the good people at T-Mobile because the 5-second delay does not affect the timing at all.
At all. Sure.
And we practiced and we practiced and we practiced. And we got to this thing and we did it. We didn't do it exactly perfect, but we did it good enough and the folks cried. Oh. And that's what you want from classic.
Laughing until you cry.
I know.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if they were laughing, but they were definitely crying.
Definitely crying.
Because one of our kids has a job. God. So then it occurred to me to do all that work to do it for one more show seemed like such a waste. So I thought there's got to be a way when I'm on the road with technology that we have today for me to perform this with my brother on the screen. I usually have a TV screen and a computer with me to do all kinds of crazy crap. So I said to my brother, I'm coming down to your house in Georgia with a video camera and a green screen, and we're going to shoot your part of this so that I can do it without you. And he said, don't come down here. So I went down there. And we did 28 takes of this thing with me behind 28. The camera. I'm not on camera. I'm doing my part, but you can't see me. Just shooting him in front of a green screen with his baseball cap.
And a jersey. Yeah.
We did 28 takes of this. Because it has to be one long shot. There can be no editing. That would give it away.
So are you Lou? I just want to know.
Yeah. Oh, are you kidding me? I'm older. Yeah, I get to have all the punchlines.
Yeah, there you go.
We did 28 takes, and then he said, get out of my house. So... we kept take 28.
You guys are close, right?
Pretty close.
Still to this day.
Yeah.
Right. Awesome. That's really funny. How about we pick up that guitar you brought your Martin over?
Oh, well, sure.
Can we do a song? We'll give people
I would be happy
a taste
to.
of the Steve Goodie.
Do you have any song
review
in particular you'd like to hear? Or?
Not really. I want to hear. I just want to hear what you do.
I would like to do a newer one. I think you heard me do this the other night.
Oh, okay.
But it's relatively new because I don't know about you, Dave, but I'm old.
Yeah.
And simple things like sleeping are becoming difficult. Who forgets how to breathe? How stupid am I that I cannot get through a night's sleep without dying several times?
Yeah.
Thanks to all kinds of exciting
getting
sleep
up to
disorders.
pee 4 or 5 times.
That's fun. Well, I'm looking forward to that. So far, that's not.
It hasn't happened yet.
Boy, it's something. I can't sleep. I can't sleep. My brain repeats these OCD trivialities, and eventually, if I fall asleep, I can't breathe. I can't breathe. Insomnia and sleep apnea. But bum. My CPAP never works that good. No good. I can't unwind. But bum. Would someone please hit me over the head with a sledgehammer? I can't sleep. I close my eyes, can't find no sheep. So I don't count sheep, I count shepherds. Bo Peep, Jesus, Samuel L. Jackson in Pulp Fiction, astronaut Alan Shepard. You know, when I was a kid, I wanted to be an astronaut.
Yeah.
But I asked, and they said, not. Wait, I'm supposed to be sleeping. No, counting sheep. Sheep apnea. Bum. Lamb chops, they sure do taste good. So good. My stupid brain goes round and round. It would be so great if I could win an award for this. I'd like to thank my mother and Alan Shepard and my pharmacist who does no good at all. You hate me. You really hate me. I'm trying to think about nothing. Nothing. Alan Shepard. Damn you, Alan Shepard. I'm trying to think about nothing. I'm killing Dave over here. I'm trying to think about nothing. Nothing. Did I leave the oven on? I've never left the oven on. Why would I leave the oven on? Why am I worrying about whether I left? I'm going downstairs to check on the oven. It's off. Of course it's off. I think I'll make a sandwich. You know, I ordered some CBD, but someone at Amazon is dyslexic because I got the Charlie Daniels Band box set instead. The devil went down to the kitchen to make himself a sandwich. I've been drinking decaf tea, listening to the white noise machine. Breathing slowly and deeply, I'm almost there. Now I have to pee.
Of course.
I shouldn't have drunk that gallon of Pepsi. Now I've got restless leg syndrome like Elvis Presley. Then all the next day, narcolepsy. Is it weird that I fell asleep at McDonald's? In the drive-thru, please drive around, sir. Do you think I should drive around? When I'm asleep, apnea. But bum. I have to be up in 3 hours. 2 hours. I have so much to do tomorrow. 1 hour, I'm screwed. Thanks to sleep apnea. But bum. 15 minutes of sleep would be pretty good. So good. My stupid brain is full of sheep, and I'm really bleep because I can't sleep. You hate me. You really hate me.
You know, and it's just exactly what it's like. That stuff starts running through your brain. You can't turn it off. You just nailed it.
Thanks, man. You know, writing that, I wrote that with my friends Bill Warrington and Bethany Hill.
Oh, I know Bill. I've met Bill a few times.
They're both awesome.
Yeah.
We don't see them very much anymore because Bethany has a lot of COVID-related issues, and she cannot be exposed to even the slightest risk of it. So we don't get to hang out very much anymore. So we got together, I think it was 3 years ago, during COVID, on my front porch, being socially distanced. We wrote that song, and it was just the weirdest stream of consciousness, throwing stuff together.
And you just let it flow.
We just let all the ideas out.
Because there's a lot of words in a song. Like,
it took me 2 years to get it together and memorize this thing.
That's one of the things I wanted to ask you, because your songs are all, like I say, hard-hitting, fast. It's like, and I went away from that first time I saw you on a Sunday thinking, how does he remember all of
practice? You know, it's nothing... Unless you have a significant...
You don't put a phone with the lyrics in front of you. You don't use a script.
Well, I do it first, but I have to get away from it. You can't sell comedy while you're reading it.
You can't.
It doesn't work. If an audience is there. On the radio, sure you can, because the audience can't see you anyway.
Right.
But the audience requires, if they're really going to have confidence in you that you can be funny, they need you to make a little eye contact.
And with your facial expressions, too.
That too.
You know, and if you get your face buried in a phone or notes.
I mean, I have a brand new one that I tried at the Bluebird for the first time this past Sunday, and it's new. I don't expect it to work great, and I'm reading it off the thing. But the only way to get started is to start there. I can't be expected to memorize this and then find out if it's any good. Yeah. Because it's a ton of work to memorize this stuff. And anybody can memorize a huge thing. You just have to decide, I'm going to go over this 1,000 times. And just take the time and do it. It's not magic.
1,000 times.
Literally. Yeah. Bicycling, in the car, in the shower, just going over it and over and over. And I promise you, every single song I ever do like this, the first 3 times I try it off book in front of an audience, I will screw it up. Yeah. Without a doubt. And it's just gospel. And that is part of the deal. When I have a new thing and I try it in front of an audience, I'm going to have a hard time that night. It's not going to be fun, but that's part of what it takes to get it to this point where I can actually present it confidently and I know it and I can sell it.
Is it intimidating to try it out for the first time at the Bluebird with Chris Christopherson staring you in the face?
Exactly. Yeah. I don't usually try new stuff at the Bluebird. I will try it somewhere else. Yeah. But I was excited about this. Plus my friend Ann Buckle, who you may or may not know, great songwriter, and she plays the fiddle. And this particular song, this new one, was a parody of a Bruce Springsteen song, and it really needed that riff. You know the song "Dancing in the Dark"? Oh yeah, of course you do. Da 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 da. I needed. Traditionally, it would be on a keyboard, but any other instrument besides me playing that riff. Tuba. And tuba would be great, but Anne didn't bring her tuba that night,
unfortunately.
So she happened to be there, and she could play the riff. So I thought, let's just do this, and I'll read it off the thing. I don't expect this to work very well, but we have to start somewhere.
Mm-hmm. Crazy. How do you go about writing a song like that? You get the idea, and then
well, like that one, which you haven't heard, so it doesn't necessarily make sense to talk about it.
You're gonna have to play it for us now, I think.
I don't think I can. Oh, okay. I don't have the words, and I don't have Anne.
Never mind.
Next time. This is my way to get back.
There you go.
That one just hit me. It was just a dumb idea. I was in bed, if I'm not mistaken, early in the morning, and anything rather than get out of bed, especially when it's cold out.
And after sleep apnea.
Yeah. Maybe I'll just start writing a song on my phone. And I was also texting a friend of mine in England, and so we were just chatting, and I thought of this idea. Hey, that's not bad. Dancing in the dark became dancing like a dork. That's funny.
That's me.
That's funny. Exactly.
Yeah.
So I'm just trying some lyrics on her, and she's laughing. A lot of LOLs and ha-has. Okay, keep writing. Actually wrote the whole song that way with her online with me, giving me feedback as it went. And that's very unusual. Usually I'll just at least come up with a whole draft before I show it to anybody. But she was quite encouraging. And it took a turn that neither of us was expecting. I just thought this was a song about dancing badly. And it was. But then, okay, where do we go on the third verse? There's always... you run out of steam about halfway through. How can I take this further? And then it occurred to me, well, if this guy's out there dancing badly, there's probably people with their phones out because this is 2025. Yeah. And if they get their phones out, he could become viral and then get invited to Saturday Night Live and Seth Meyers. And Seth Meyers rhymes with "I'm on fire," which is
there you go. I'm on fire.
No, that's not that song. I got sleep apnea stuck in my head.
But it's a Springsteen song.
It's a Springsteen song. There's a lot of rhymes that rhyme with the word fire in that song. So I had to find, and Seth Meyers happens to rhyme with fire. So that's good. So it got a whole new direction halfway through that just went completely off the rails. And I'm actually working on a video of it now in which I'm the whole band and I'm also dancing badly. Very, very badly. Do you remember the song White and Nerdy?
What was it?
Weird Al Yankovic, White and Nerdy.
White and Nerdy.
It came out in 2006.
Okay.
One of his biggest, and in my opinion, if not his best song, his second best song of my favorites. Uh-huh. And he has Donny Osmond, of all people, dancing in the video for this as badly as he can. Because the song is called White and Nerdy. He picked the whitest, nerdiest guy. And Donny was into it, totally on board with this thing. And so I watched that a bunch of times to get an inspiration for bad moves. I'm currently making bad moves. You can't see it at home, but I'm doing some very terrible. Yeah. And I dressed pretty much in the same outfit Donnie wore. And then, to top it off, that's just the dancing. Who's going to sing this thing? I got me and like 8 of me playing the instruments, including an accordion, and an upright bass and an electric bass, because I felt like it.
There you go.
I decided I would have a sock puppet for no reason.
For no reason.
Just doing the singing. And then it occurred to me, well, at the end of the original video, young Courtney Cox, before she was famous, was invited on stage to dance with him for the last 30 seconds. Yeah. Well, we need another sock puppet to play the Courtney Cox part. And my friend Angel, who does the artwork for a lot of my projects and who's awesome, she came up with the idea she would make a sock puppet, and it would be Courtney Socks. And then Courtney would dance, and my Bruce puppet would dance, and that would be that. And
awesome.
We haven't yet shot hers. She's in Indiana and snowed in and can't get.
So we have to watch for this video. It will be coming out.
It'll be out in a couple of weeks.
Okay.
She's snowed in right now and can't get the supplies she needs to make this sock and get the green screen, so she can shoot her part, send it to me, and I can edit it in. But almost the rest of it is all done. It's ridiculous how much stupid time I've spent on this, but I'm just enjoying myself.
Good. No doubt you are. You're a big Al Yankovic fan,
right? Very much so.
You did a tribute show to him.
I did and am doing. That's what I keep taking to Edinburgh every year. I will be there again for the Fringe Festival this year. The tribute is called Al, the Weird Tribute, and how Daniel Radcliffe got mixed up in this nonsense.
Daniel Radcliffe?
Well, Al made a biopic of his own life in 2022, and it starred Daniel Radcliffe as Al. Now, you may remember Daniel Radcliffe as Harry Potter.
Harry Potter, right.
All 8 movies. That was the beginning of his huge career. And so I was a huge Harry Potter nut because I was directly in the demographic. In 2000, when I discovered these books, I was 34. So perfect. And I got completely sucked into that world. So Daniel himself is a hero since then. And Al has been a hero of mine since I first heard him on the Dr. Demento show in maybe 1979 or 1980, listening under the covers at 11 p.m. on a Sunday when I was supposed to be asleep. I made a whole show of just that, and I've been doing it as a residency here in Nashville. Guess where? That's right, at Agave's Mexican restaurant every second Tuesday. Now, by the time this comes out on February 5th, you said?
5th, yes.
I'll already have done the one I'm about to do on January 14th. You're invited, Dave, if
Good.
you'd like to come to January 14th. But I will also be doing it on February 11th, which is the second Tuesday in February.
So if you're in Nashville?
So you're in Nashville. Agave's Mexican restaurant. There's 2 of them. The one you want is on Briley Parkway near the airport.
Oh.
Doors open at 6.
My GPS says Briley Parkway.
That's right. Mine does too. When are they going to straighten that out?
I don't know.
Doors open at 6. The show starts at 7. I'll do a bunch of funny songs first and then launch into my tribute, which involves animated avatars of Al and Daniel on the screen interacting with me, arguing with me, doing songs with me. It's just so stupid. And it's free still. I will start charging a cover eventually, but it's still free. We call it Taco and Accordion Tuesday. And I say, come for the tacos, stay for the tacos.
Stay for the tacos. I love it. We're going to take a little break. Steve Goodie is our guest, and you're listening to the Songwriter Connection podcast.
You're listening to the Songwriter Connection with Dave Linehan. Find us on Facebook and YouTube at the Songwriter Connection Podcast. And find Dave at thedaveconnection.com. Now back to the show with your host, Dave Linehan.
Come for the tacos, stay for the tacos. I love it. What a great theme. Steve Goodie is our guest. If you're listening on YouTube, please like and subscribe because that helps us. And one day we're going to monetize there as well. So, but we need your help to do that. So
it's exciting.
So help me. Help me help you. Steve Goodie is my guest. Steve Goodie hosts the Sunday night shows at the Bluebird and it does so much. I mean, you've got your studio, which is Quality Recording.
Quality Recording. You can find it at www.qualityquality.com.
3 quality.
Right, because 1 quality just wasn't enough.
Yeah.
Plus, it wasn't available. So
and neither was 2, probably.
Right, no. So we went with 3.
Quality. Well, it rams home the idea. It's quality recording. And you play you do a lot of demos and things like that.
Demos and album projects and music for video, whatever you need. I play real drums, always set up with 9 mics, real piano, which is not only a real piano with hammers and strings, real piano, Yamaha Grand. Mm-hmm. It's also a disc clavier, which, as you may know, means that it can record and play back MIDI. So that if you record a MIDI track of your piano part at home, spend as many hours as you want getting it right, send me the MIDI part, my piano will play it.
Wow.
For real. Real
Isn't
piano.
that cool?
It's crazy. And it could change the key if you want. Or you could play it backwards if you want.
No way.
I don't know why you'd want that, but you could.
But you could.
And all for the low, low price of $90 an hour. And that includes my musicianship on about a dozen instruments. No extra charge.
Wow.
You can't find a better deal than that
You cannot
outside of
find a
San
better
Diego. No, you cannot.
You cannot find a better deal than that. That's awesome. And then you get Steve Goodie as your engineer and producer, right? Very good. How'd you pick up all those instruments?
One at a time. When I was in third grade, I wanted to play the drums. So my parents naturally got me a trumpet, which I didn't want to play. But I practiced for a month, and I am not made to play wind instruments. I can play anything with strings or anything you have to hit with a stick.
Okay.
I have a real set of vibes. I have a little xylophone as well.
Nice.
But anything you have to blow or bow, I can't do it.
Blow or bow.
So I tried to play the trumpet for 3 months. 1 month, I'm sorry. Every time I would try, I would blow into it, I'd hyperventilate, I'd pass out and fall down. And apparently my parents...
How you got sleep apnea.
My parents found that amusing. So I begged for drums. They gave me drum lessons and a practice pad. Do you know what a practice pad is, Dave? It's a Frisbee on a stick.
Basically,
and I had to build my own makeshift drum set with a piggy bank as a hi-hat. Took drum lessons for 3 years without any actual drums, and then finally they got me a drum set, which was nice, and the neighbors loved it.
Yes.
This is before electronic drums and headphones.
Yeah.
But then I discovered you can't really write a song on the drums, and you can't take drums to a cookout and impress girls. So I asked for guitar lessons, which I eventually got, and then those are really the only lessons I had. I picked up piano from the guitar and other things, and bass guitar, and later mandolin and banjo and dobro and pedal steel and accordion.
Accordion. Oh, my God.
Accordion, the bane of my existence. But you can't do a Weird Al tribute show without an accordion.
You cannot.
It's against the law.
You can't do it. Yeah. Was he really related to...
No.
Frankie Yankovic?
Not related.
Okay. So I come from Cleveland, and that's the polka capital of the world.
It's amazing they're not related, but they're not
related.
Yeah.
Okay. I always heard that there was some kind of relation, but not.
I'm afraid not.
Yeah. Wow.
I don't think he's related to anybody. Probably his daughter. Say pretty good chance he's
pretty
related
good
to his
chance.
daughter.
Yeah, I would think.
Speaking of his daughter Nina, when I had first started putting out Harry Potter songs, one of them was a parody of one of Al's songs. With Al's permission, I took his song Hardware Store, which you may or may not know, but it's a classic. Just a list of all the stuff he's going to buy at the hardware store. And he's very excited. He lists a long laundry list of very, very funny, fast hammers and screwdrivers and stuff that's ridiculous.
A list song. I love those.
And I took it, and I wanted it to be about Harry Potter because I was still really into Harry Potter. This was 2005. So with Al's permission, I took Hardware Store and made it Dumbledore. And it just lists all the things Harry's going to get to do and see when he's at Hogwarts. So mine is just as much of a list, but it's all about magical nonsense as opposed to things at the hardware store.
Crazy.
And there's actually an interview, and I can get you this video if you want, where Al is asked by an interviewer, "What if you're going to parody one of your own original songs? What would you do?" And he said, "I don't know, but a couple of people have parodied my originals. There's this guy, Steve Goodie. He names me.
Names you.
And says he wrote this song, Dumbledore, a parody of my hardware store song. And he says, my daughter listens to Dumbledore in the car over and over. She doesn't know my song at all, but she loves Dumbledore."
How about that, Steve? That's awesome.
His daughter's name is Nina, and I wrote a thank you song to Nina for being such a fan of mine. Wow. And it's part of the Weird Al tribute show.
Yeah.
It's just nuts.
She's
like 21 now. Couldn't care less. But back then, I was a big deal in the Yankovic household.
Big deal. I played with you once at the Virgin Hotel. I don't know if you remember, but it was a Beatles night.
Yes.
And we could all do our songs, but we had to do one Beatles song.
Right. I know what you're getting to.
And you sang one called Here Comes My Son.
Would you like to hear it now?
I would love to hear that song and get under the hood a little bit about it. Hilarious.
Well, let's just see if your audience agrees. Naturally, it's got a capo on the 7th fret, which means I'm wildly out of tune again. So while I tune, I'll tell this following anecdote that I always tell before the song. I'm a big Beatles fan, and my favorite Beatle was always George. So I did a lot of research into George. Did you know that, like me, George was raised in a Jewish household?
Was he?
Did you know that?
Yeah.
I did not know that. I knew that when he was an adult, when he was with the Beatles, they met the Maharishi, and he became a Hare Krishna, which he was for the rest of his life. Everybody knows that. But not everybody knows that he was Jewish, just like me. So
I didn't know.
I felt a closeness. Both of his parents, all 4 of his grandparents, Jewish. And his father, Shlomo Harrison.
Now you're pulling my leg.
Don't get ahead of me. Was also himself a songwriter. And how do I know this? Because I found some old recordings of Shlomos. And it appears that George stole a few melodies from his dad, because some of these old Shlomo songs sound awfully familiar. See if you agree.
Okay.
Man. I can't get in tune to my satisfaction.
It's always that B string. It's very sneaky.
Either that or my G string's too tight.
Yeah. But it lies to you.
It's nice, isn't it?
It's very nice. I like that.
I'm going to ruin it. Here comes my son. Here comes my son. And I say, oi. Little Pisher, it's been a hot, sticky, humid summer. Little Pisher, it seems like years since you mowed the lawn. Here comes my son, do-do-do-do. Here comes my son, and I say, you're stupid. Son, 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 here he comes. Son, 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 what a bum. Son, 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 where's my gun? Phaser's on stun. Make that kill. Oi, my back. Little Pisher, it's so hot, I'm sweating bullets. Little Pisher, get me a beer, you schmuck. Here comes my son, do-do-do. Here comes my son, and I say, oi. Oi.
And then, of course, the lawsuit that followed, Shlomo did sue George, and the rest was history, right?
Everybody sued George, even his dad. I made all of that up, by the way.
Oh,
as far as I know, George was raised in a Protestant household.
Protestant house.
That's my guess.
Your guess.
Something Christian, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, he used to love to eat ham sandwiches.
Oh, and another disclaimer: the word "pisher" that's
Pisher.
Yiddish. It means little boy. It has nothing. It's not a naughty word at all.
Okay, all right,
It's
good.
actually an affectionate term for a young boy.
I was going to ask you, so I didn't know if I had to mark this explicit or not.
The FCC will have no problem with this.
No problem. Good,
because it's pisher. There's an H in there.
Pisher, and it means what?
Little boy.
Little boy.
It's like chap or fellow.
Fellow. Okay, good. Yiddish, right?
Yep.
Tell me about Steve's Big Dumb Show.
This is Steve's Big Dumb Show on Dave's Big Not So Dumb Show. It's a show. It's just a name for my stand-up show, which involves music and graphics on the screen. I sometimes show pictures of signs that I found funny in my travels.
I was watching one this morning, and you were showing how you came up with the name. You had all the different screens. This is going to be the name of the show.
I don't even remember this.
You don't remember this one?
No.
Oh, and then you came up with Big Dumb Show.
Huh. What were my other?
Something about discern, and you spelled the name wrong.
Oh, yes.
See, you do so many shows you don't remember.
I can't remember half of. A lot less than half.
It's the CVD. I'm telling you right now.
No, long before that. I have found songs on my hard drive in my own folder. You know, I have songs from many folders for other people's songs that I've recorded.
Yeah.
I found ones in my folder. I don't remember this song at all. And I listen to it and I'm like, okay, that's my voice. That's my playing. I don't remember this song. Not only don't I remember writing it, I don't remember recording it. And I clearly put many hours into this.
Yeah.
Only gone.
That happens to me too. When you're writing, hundreds of songs a year, you look back and you go, man, where did that come from? Kind of like those words a little bit.
But it's kind of like, it's like they say Alzheimer's fun because you get to hide your own Easter eggs.
Yeah.
It's like that.
Exactly. And you meet new people all the time.
Yeah, all the time.
All the time.
All the time. That's right, Bob.
Then you do live shows on Monday night on, is it Facebook Live?
No, it's a Zoom thing.
Zoom thing.
It is on Facebook, and we also put it on YouTube, but it's a Zoom thing initially.
So you have to be invited in. It's a Zoom thing.
If you want to see the Zoom part and be part of the audience, because the one thing we discovered, we had to do this with the pandemic, is the good thing about doing comedy, if you're going to do it all online, Zoom is good because you can hear laughs. You have to have an audience that knows to shut up when they're not laughing. And if the dog's barking, they need to mute themselves.
Isn't there some kind of a delay, though?
There's a little bit. It's like a half a second. So you can't do sing-alongs.
Okay.
If you're performing with a partner, you can't sing harmony with each other. Although a friend of mine figured out how to make that work, but I can't get my head around how that's even possible with the delay. But all that being said, if you have 20 or 30 people in your audience and they know how to be polite Zoom members, you tell a joke, they laugh. It's not that bad.
Yeah. Okay.
And so we've been doing that. It's virtualcomedyshow.com. That number again, virtualcomedyshow.com. Once again, for those in the back, virtualcomedyshow.com. It's every Monday at 9 Central. We just did our 243rd episode yesterday. We're coming up on 250 because we do about 50 a year, and we've been doing this for 5 years.
Wow.
It's nuts.
How much prep does that take to put into that show?
A good bit. I do a top 10 list a la David Letterman every week, so I have to think of it and then program it so that you can see the words appear on the screen like Dave would do. Sometimes I think of those immediately. Sometimes it's the last damn minute. And Brad, my co-host, Brad Tassel, he prepares a 10-minute monologue each week, so that takes some work.
He's a stand-up comic.
Yeah, a working comic who, when we started this, was completely out of work. Just nothing at all to do, just sitting at home. That's why we started this. I had things I could do. I have studio clients with whom I work remotely anyway.
Yeah.
All they need to be present for is to sing it, but some of them don't want to sing their own songs. They want me to hire someone, so they really don't need to be in the same room at all. They can just hire me to pull it all together.
Gotcha.
And we can sometimes work together on Zoom. If they want to be present for the process, they can, but most of them just say, here, and then send me what you got, and if they have notes, I'll adjust, and everything's fine. So Brad had nothing to do, so he said, let's do an online show. And he had already been using Zoom, because in addition to being a comedian, he's also a teacher. He's done workshops with classes, and Zoom has been around since before the pandemic. We just didn't know about it, most of us.
Exactly.
He did. He already had an account, so it was very easy for him to adapt this and teach me how to make this work. And at first it was just the two of us goofing off for an hour with a tiny little audience, whoever we could drag up. Then our friend Patty Vasquez, who's a Chicago comedian, and she's brilliant. She decided, hey, can I be part of this? I will just rant for 3 minutes. We'll call it a Patty Melt because she melts down.
That's my wife's nickname.
Yeah, is there?
Patty Melt.
So we've had a Patty Melt as part of the show for a long time. And then it occurred to me, let's make little bumpers, a little video intro for the Patty Melt and for Brad's monologue and for my. Then we have a thing in the show called Steve. How about another dumb song from Steve for no reason? So bumper for that, and we have a bumper. We have a headliner every week, a different one every week. Someone who's a professional comedian that Brad signs those up. Does 10 minutes. So we have a headliner bumper, and then I find a musical guest amongst my friends who write funny songs. So we have a thing called It's Our Musical Guest, and that has a bumper. So it's a show with the beginning, middle, and end, and it's fairly professional.
Well, how do you get an invite from Zoom to do this?
You don't really need an invite. If you go to virtualcomedyshow.com, there's a button to click, and you're in.
And you're in. It's that simple.
And if you'd rather watch it online afterward, Facebook and YouTube both have versions of it. If you just hunt for that, Virtual Comedy Show with Brad Tassel and Steve Goodie.
Very good. You also have a website?
SteveGoodie.com.
I love it. I was on it. I was trying to get some more background on you. I was trying to find a
Most
bio.
of that's made up.
Yeah. And I love it. It's hilarious.
Are you going to read it?
Steve's bio. I'll just read part of it. Steve Goodie is, in all modesty and candor, the genius of our age. Comedian, writer, singer, director, producer. Steve was the founding member of Monty Python and has written scripts for Sid Caesar, Woody Allen, Mahatma Gandhi, Matt Groening, and Queen Elizabeth? Wow.
Yes. I got to update this. Everybody on that list is dead.
The Beatles credit much of their fame to his early studio work, and it goes on from there. You know, I also love this was clever too, your disclaimer. You have the fine print. I had to blow it up to read it, and it was, consult your physician before using this website. Batteries not included, may cause drowsiness, must be over. And it goes on and on and on and on. Hilarious stuff. Amazing.
Always updating that too.
Are you? Good.
You think of some new thing. Do not operate heavy machinery while viewing the website.
You're getting ready to tour the country. You're going to play first in Minneapolis coming up?
Yes, there's a thing called MarsCon, which is a nerd convention, kind of like Comic-Con, but a little bit more specific to Minneapolis. They do it in Minneapolis every March because plane fare's cheaper to Minneapolis in March because nobody wants to go to Minneapolis in March. Only an idiot would go to, that's where I'll be. And they've been doing MarsCon there with a funny music track for about 20 years now.
Why is it MarsCon? What's the connection?
I don't even know. Honestly, it's not just funny music. In fact, funny music is an addendum to it. It's what nerds like, and I say that with all affection. Cosplay, dressing up, pretending to be characters.
Sure.
Gaming, Dungeons and Dragons, stuff like that. Art. All the stuff that pertains to the nerdy stuff that the culture really enjoys.
There you go.
And they have funny music there. And there's something called the Logan Awards for funny music.
Yeah.
There was a guy named Logan Whitehurst who wrote very funny, very weird songs. He was tragically taken from us. I think it was leukemia before he was 30. Oh. So now we have something called the Logan Awards for excellence in comedy music. And those are given, I think they've done it 10 years now, something like that.
Yeah.
And I've won a couple of Logans. I won one in 2024, I'm very pleased to say. A song of mine, the Sleep Disorder song. That's what won, actually. The one I just sang for you. Thank you very much.
Awesome. Yeah.
And I'm up for a few of those this year also. They used to give them out in October. They've switched it to March to coincide with MarsCon. So I am busily preparing. I have about 10 songs that I released last year that would be nominatable. But any individual is only allowed to nominate 5 songs. So I'm lining up a bunch of friends. Would you nominate this one? Would you nominate that one?
There you go. There you go.
So we'll see if I can win something for all my trouble of going to
I hope
Minneapolis in March.
Now, I've never been to the MarsCon, but I was in New York during SantaCon one year.
Those are good too.
If you've never seen Santa puking in a gutter,
and I can't say I have.
There you go.
Thank you for recreating.
That was like everywhere you looked. Yeah, so man. Santa Claus is sick.
And then in April, I often do my Big Dumb Show tour.
Okay.
Depends on where in the country I'm being asked to play. It's mostly house concerts, but a few theaters and a few other venues of that sort. Sometimes a comedy club. I like doing smaller places where I can do exactly whatever I want. Yeah. And if it's a house concert, if nobody shows up, nobody's mad at me. If I'm at a comedy club and nobody shows up, the waitstaff hates me and management hates me and they'll never have me back. When I'm in someone's home, if no one shows up, it's like, great, we can all eat all this pizza ourselves. It's fine. All that happens is I don't make any money, but I don't make anybody mad. And I get to do, if I want to do a half hour, I do a half hour. If I want to do 2 hours, I do 2 hours. Whatever I feel like doing, and everybody is happy.
I have some dear friends in Thompson Station that do it once a month, music night, once a month. And we've had some really big songwriters there.
What are their names?
Robert and Lori Hill.
Okay, I don't know them.
Amazing people. Maybe we have to get you out there.
I would love to do that.
Yeah.
There's a couple that did them all the time, and they've stopped doing it. I think the lady passed away.
Yeah, she did
last year.
Mr. Say, was it Tracy?
Terry
Say.
Yeah,
Terry
he's not
Say.
doing them anymore. He had his last one last month, and he's retiring it, which is too bad because the space is amazing. Oh, yeah. He's got a concert hall in his house.
It's amazing.
Yeah. I did it once as kind of a special comedy guest, and I was hoping to get to do it again, but it ain't gonna happen.
It ain't gonna happen. Not now.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. Yeah, that was a sad thing. Really, really.
But I will be all over the country in April and May, including Los Angeles and some I can't talk about it. I'm being told to be hush-hush about this. But if you're in LA in early April, make a note. I'm going to be doing some stuff, and it will be pretty cool.
Very cool.
So we'll just see.
Awesome. We'll wait to see. News on the website, maybe? Keep watching that?
As soon as I'm allowed to advertise it, I will.
Yeah. And, of course, you're on all the socials, too, right?
I try. I'm too old to keep up with it correctly, but I do my best.
I try to. It's hard.
It's impossible.
Don't you wish you had
Even the kids can't do it. How are we supposed to do it?
Exactly. You wish you had somebody that could just do that for you.
You know, there are people who do that for you. The problem is they don't talk to people like me.
Or me.
And if they do, they don't do their job right. Why would they? I wouldn't.
I've got to hear another song from you, my friend.
You do? Okay.
Yeah.
Anything in particular?
Classic Steve Goodie stuff, man.
Let's. Can I do one that's just a little bit naughty?
A little bit?
A little bit.
Okay.
I'll say the letter F instead of the word, if that's okay. But it happens about 30 times. Is that okay?
The F-bomb has been dropped on
Has it? I won't be saying the word. Right. But since we were talking about nerds...
just say fudge.
It actually works better if I just say F.
Okay, F.
You'll know what I'm talking about.
Okay.
I start this by addressing the crowd, and you will be the crowd.
Okay,
and I will say, how many Star Wars fans do we have here?
Yay!
Great. Okay, excellent. I have a trivia question for our Star Wars fans. Who can tell me who the main number one overall evil villain bad guy was in all of the Star Wars movies?
Garth Vader.
Sorry. It's a nice southern answer.
Darth Brooks?
Sorry, that's not it.
Not it.
Try again if you want. Some people say, I've heard people say the Emperor. Palpatine, that's a good guess, but it's not right either. One person said George Lucas, but that's not right either. The real evil villain in all of this was R2D2.
Oh.
Yeah, and you look surprised. Like
I am very
me.
surprised.
Yes, nobody believes me. And women, when I say this, get very upset. That can't be. He's so cute. And I say, yes, I know. That's his cover. I will prove it to you now. There's a tiny little droid, kind of looks like a salt shaker, can't really talk, but he beeps like a wiseacre, a little piece of junk who steals every scene from the swamps of Dagobah to the sands of Tatooine. Some people think he's cute. I think he's a creep. He can open every door. He can always get a peep, and that's worse than Superman's X-ray vision, because no matter what the codes, R2D2 has permission to raid your bank account, take pictures of your wife, post them on Facebook. Man, that is not right. He can screw up idle. He can screw up the voice, and damn it, that's supposed to be viewer's choice. He can mess with an election, can always get his way. That's what happened in Florida in Y2K, and I think that's terrible, evil, and deplorable, but everyone thinks he's cute. Yeah, the girls think he's adorable. F you, R2D2. F you, R2D2. You're as attractive to me as Trump in a see-through, so F you, R2D2. F you, R2D2. F you, R2D2. I should have left you in the swamp or sent you to Machu Picchu. F you, R2D2. Some might say, I'm totally wrong. They say R2 is fine. This is a terrible song. Well, they can think what they want, but did they ever consider he could have blown up the Death Star on his own, the little pooper. While we were risking the lives of all those good guys, he could have phoned in a code and de-imperialized the whole galaxy without lifting a digit. But he didn't, because he's a malicious little midget. F you, R2D2. F you, R2D2. He ruined my life and ended my libido, so F you, R2D2. F you, R2D2. F you, R2D2! There must be a way to Control-Alt-Delete you. F you, R2D2.
Control-Alt-Delete.
So stupid.
Why don't you tell us how you really feel about the guy?
Let me tell you a story about that song. Like I was saying earlier, when I write a song like that with way too many, and I was only like about half of it. I edited it a little bit.
Okay.
With way too many words, and it goes way too fast. I have to rehearse for 3 months, knowing that I will screw it up at least 3 times in front of people. And the first time I ever tried to perform this after rehearsing for 3 months was at a little club in Seattle. And I tried this song, and I was so nervous. Have you ever been talking to a person or a crowd, and you're so nervous and so preoccupied that you think you've said one thing, but in fact you've said something else. So the response you get makes no sense to you because what you said made no sense to them. I said to this crowd, just like I said to you a minute ago, who can tell me who the main number one overall evil villain bad guy was in all of Starbucks? Maybe it's because I was in Seattle. I don't know what happened. But I didn't realize what I had said. And so the audience is just staring at me until one hand goes up in the back and she says, the racists in Philadelphia who called the cops when the black guy wanted to use the bathroom.
And you're like,
and I'm like, I don't remember that from episode 1. So that was the first time. The second time, and I should have known better because I hadn't done it 3 times yet, was at another nerd convention. This one is in Chicago. And I was so nervous because this was going to be a bunch of Star Wars fans. And if I get this wrong, I'm not only going to fail, I'm going to get killed.
They'll take you out.
I decided to hedge my bets. I got on Amazon and I ordered a life-size inflatable R2D2. He's like this tall. And he arrived at the hotel where this was happening 45 minutes before I was to go on stage. So I ran down to the desk, got him, ran him back up to my room, put the batteries in because his head would turn and he would beep and he would light up. And he would walk around a little bit. Cool. And I inflated him. And then I'm practicing the song, F U R2D2, F U R2D2, and I think I offended him because he starts to droop. He's deflating. I'm like, oh my God, he's brand new and he won't hold an inflation. Very frustrating. So but not to be deterred, I found my friend Ian, who is a great guy and a complete nerd. And I said, Ian, when I'm doing the R2D2 song, with R2D2 standing next to me, if he starts to droop, you run right up on stage, reinflate. Don't wait for me to stop. Just do it right away. And he said, I got you. So I'm playing F U R2D2, F U R2D2, and he starts to droop. So here comes Ian. And I don't know if I mentioned that the nozzle was, shall we say, strategically positioned.
No.
Have you seen the movie Airplane?
Yeah.
So now Ian is pleasuring R2D2, and it really doesn't matter what I'm doing because that's hysterical.
All right. If it wasn't X-rated enough, there we go. That's hilarious. Absolutely.
I'm sorry I've lost you so many viewers or listeners.
What I love about your songs, it just seems like this stream of consciousness flowing out. I know it's
That's
not.
the idea. No, the writing is very laborious, but it's supposed to seem like that.
It's supposed to seem like, and it does. It's perfect. So can we get one more? And then we'll call her.
God, try and stop me.
Yeah, cool.
Let's see.
I'm really enjoying it.
Anything in particular
I
you want?
This laugh. I really did.
Here's one. Okay. I wrote this with my friend Sammy, who's a server at the Bluebird. Have you ever seen the TV show Nashville?
Yeah.
Maybe some of your listeners have too.
Yeah.
The Bluebird, they have a Bluebird on the TV show Nashville.
Yeah.
That is exactly like the real one. Not just in
just
how
a
it looks.
stage.
They built a stage that looks exactly like the actual Bluebird. Mm-hmm. And people who watch the show think it's the Bluebird, and they're not wrong, because not only does it look just like it, all the characters on the show are just like all the employees of the Bluebird. Everybody's frustrated and talented and broke and sleeping with each other. It's just like the real one.
Just like
and they write songs together too. And my friend Sammy, who's maybe 30 years younger than I am, texted me a couple of years ago with the following message. She said, "Steve, I just had a really stupid idea for a song." Oh, that's her right now.
That's her right now. I can't believe I had my phone on this whole time. Sorry.
It's okay. It's your show. Sammy said, "Steve, I just had this really stupid idea for a song, and I think it would be perfect for you." And I said, "I'm listening." And she said, "I've noticed that women in my age group tend to have really filthy cars, but really clean, pristine homes."
I know this song. This is cool, man.
Men in my age group, exactly the opposite. Really pristine, well cared for automobiles and disgusting houses you can't even walk into because the smell hits you in the face.
Yeah.
She said, "Do you think there's a song there?" I said, yes, I do.
Absolutely.
Her apartment is pristine. Every room is clean, clean, clean. Everything in its place. Perfect use of perfect space. She's organized and functional, fastidious and punctual. So it's incredible, though she's obsessed with cleanliness. What a nightmare of disgusting crap her purple Prius is. It's her mobile trash unit. It's a dump on wheels. It's an oil spill in a landfill. It's roadkill on an anthill. It's her mobile trash unit. Coffee cups, Slurpee cups, Dr. Pepper, 7-Up, mascara, lipstick, eyeliner, cover-up, glitter, 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 glitter! Sports bra, tennis shoes, yoga pants, cowboy boots, phone charger, ice scraper, community college, psych paper, hairbrush, sunscreen, 17, magazine, candy wrappers, gum wrappers, Triscuits, and Ritz crackers, a gallon of hand sanitizer. Her favorite coconut, avocado, watermelon, tangerine, mango moisturizer. Bubble gum lip gloss. Wild cherry lip gloss. Strawberry lip gloss. Venti mocha almond fudge high octane decaf non-dairy non-fat extra cool whip double shot of espresso lip gloss with glitter. Months old receipts, several hundred samples from Clinique, groceries from last week like a quart of milk that's begun to reek, and stinky mystery luncheon meat. I mean, I've heard of olive loaf, but this is ridiculous. Crumbs and nuts and cigarette butts, curly fries and pizza crust, icky sticky moldy jelly donuts under the seat. Under the seat. She's a slob when she eats, so there's all kinds of treats under the seat. This is the part about tampons.
Oh, no.
What's that, Dave? You have concerns?
I have concerns.
Let's skip the part about tampons, because there's no need to pad this song. I quit smoking. Smelly car, what has she been eating in you? It's her mobile trash unit. It's a dump on wheels. It's an oil spill in a landfill. It's roadkill on an anthill. A bunch of hazmat in some oatmeal, guacamole and banana peels. Can't see through the damn windshield because it's her mobile trash unit. And her boyfriend's apartment is much, much worse. Cha-cha-cha.
That's awesome.
Thanks very much.
Mobile trash. It sounds like a TV theme.
It does. Well, I'm trying to be Frank Zappa-y a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
A little bit. I wrote that with Bethany Hill and Bill Warrington also. And Sammy Cannon was the inspiration.
Very good. Steve, thanks for being our guest. I appreciate it.
Was that 2 hours already?
No, yeah, it really was. No, just one, actually. But thank you so much.
Felt like two.
I hope folks will come out and see you at the Bluebird. Visit your website and maybe see one of your shows.
That would be dandy. And if you're listening from all over the United States, if you'd like to have me come to your house and sing stupid songs, I would be happy to consider putting you on the map somehow in April or May. And you can find me at stevegoodie.com.
There you go. That's your assignment. Join us next week. And right on, everybody. Right on.
We hope you enjoyed this intimate glimpse into the world of songwriting and found inspiration in the stories shared by our talented guests. Remember, the magic of music lies not only in the notes and chords, but in the emotions and experiences woven into every lyric. Until next time, keep listening, keep creating, and keep the melodies alive.